A lot of you have been asking me, can you buy back an option early if you are selling covered calls or cash secured puts before the expiration date? And the answer to that is yes, you can buy back the options that you sold early. And in some instances, with rapid volatility, one way or the other, you can be really, really profitable in just the next day. And that's what I'm going to show you today. On Friday, MicroStrategy absolutely dumped roughly 8% or so, 7%. And MicroStrategy 2x derivatives like MSTX and MSTU dropped roughly 15% on that day, causing a really, really big spike in implied volatility. I happen to sell covered calls on MSTR, MSTU, and MSTX. I currently have roughly a $500,000 position in those three stocks. And I'm going to show you today that even though the price barely moved from where it was Friday, the market was closed on Monday, so it's literally the next day, I can buy those back on pennies on the dollar. I have made roughly 30 to 45% literally overnight. So I can buy those back. And I'm going to show you today the process of buying those back. And the main thing to understand in this specific video is anytime you are selling options on some crazy spikes of price or dips of price, it's possible that once the market has an equilibrium, the next trading week, you can buy back the options that you sold at pennies for the dollar, making the difference in your pocket. And I'm going to show it to you right now. Before I go any further, I am not a financial advisor. I am just a 42-year-old who retired at 41 years old in 2024. And I use high paying dividend ETFs and options premium to fuel my lifestyle. This is not advice. Do your own due diligence. Take a look at the screen. This is MicroStrategy. I currently have 1,000 shares of MicroStrategy. My average is $77. The current price of MicroStrategy is $372. If you go a little bit lower, you're going to see that I ended up selling a covered call on Friday when the price dipped. I ended up selling 10 contracts, which is 10 times 100 shares, which would be 1,000 shares of MicroStrategy. And I ended up getting $3.10 for a gross of $3,100. I ended up doing this on 5/23 at 1:36 p.m. If you go to MicroStrategy and you go to March 23rd at around 1 o'clock p.m., the price of MicroStrategy was roughly between $375 and $381. Well, the price today is $372. So the price is really on par where it was on Friday. The only thing that happened on Friday was there was a huge drop in price from $400 all the way down to $368. And I took advantage of selling a covered call, even though in general you want to sell covered call on green days, not red days. I took advantage because I figured that it would be in equilibrium this week, and it ended up working out. Check this out. This is the options right here. As you can see, the option is currently worth $1.67. If you go a little bit lower, this is the option right here. I collected $3.10. It is currently $1.67. So if I wanted to buy this back right now, I would have to buy $1,670. But I collected $3,100, which means my total return would be $1,430 or 46% on my money literally overnight. I sold this contract on Friday. I got $3,100. I ended up buying it back today. If I were to buy it back, which I'm not, and I'll explain it in just a moment, and I could buy it back for $1,680, which means I am netting myself $1,420 literally overnight. The reason why I'm not going to be buying this back and I'm not going to be buying back the other contracts that I'm about to show you is because I use this as my income, and to give back some of the money that I collected means that I'm taking literally money out of my pocket that I use to fund my lifestyle. If I was not using this to fund my lifestyle and I wanted to protect my shares, then sure, I would be buying it back if I was a casual option seller. But because I'm a quote unquote professional option seller, I'm not going to be buying this back because I just want my income. But I will show you and walk you through the procedure of doing this right now. The first thing you're going to want to do is go into the actual contract. Usually you would be pressing sell to open. Over here, all you got to do is press buy to close. It's very simple. You put in the amount of contracts that you would want to close. In this case, I have 10 contracts, so I'm putting in 10 of these to close. My Robinhood is automatically set up that it's going to give you the midpoint of the bid and the ask. And as you can see, it's going to say medium fill likelihood. If you are selling the options, you want to ask for as much as possible. So I would probably ask for 1.69 just to grab a few dollars. However, since I am buying to close, you want to pay the least amount possible. So it's going to give me my midpoint of $1.65. I'm going to ask for 1.64. So I would always ask for 1 penny less. And as you can see, it still says medium likelihood. Maybe I would want to ask for 1.63, see if it's going to go through. It still says medium likelihood. And if I wanted this to go through, I would just press review order and then I would press submit. I'm not going to do that, and that's the way it would work. Easy peasy, beautiful cover girl. You just ended up collecting $3,100 on Friday. You're paying back roughly half of that, and then you net the rest, put it into your pocket, and you no longer have any stress that your shares can be called away. Take a look at another example. This is my position for MSTU, which is a 2x derivative of MicroStrategy. It's currently selling at $7.71. I sold an option last week, the same thing on the 23rd, roughly around this time right here. And the price was generally where it is right now, between $7.75 and $8. This is the actual option right here. I sold a $13 covered call. By the way, these all are expiring for June 13th because I sell at the same date all the time. And I said I am willing to sell my shares at $13 by June 13th. For this, I ended up collecting 15 cents per share. Currently, this is trading at 8 cents per share. So this has to be a whole number. So this would either be 5 cents or 10 cents, which would end up filling on this contract. But let's just say I also made over here 46% overnight. Why? I collected for this trade $1,800. I would have to pay back right now $960, which means I would net in my pocket $840 for another overnight play. Why? Because I took advantage of the volatility by the sudden dip of the price. I probably ended up selling something right here when the price started to recover. I took advantage of it. And right now, the market is cooling off. One more example. This is MSTX. This is another 2x derivative, currently trading at $36.25. If you go back to March 23rd, roughly around that 2 o'clock, it was trading at $36 to $38, roughly where we are right now. I ended up selling a $58 strike. Expiration is June 13th. I collected $680 or 85 cents per contract. If you go to the option right now, the option is currently trading for 45 cents. I collected 85 cents. I collected $680. I can buy it back for $360 or roughly 47% on my money overnight. For the MSTU and MSTX, that number might not be 100% accurate, but for sure, maybe I'm not getting 40 something percent, but I'm getting over that 30% on my money practically overnight. These were all sold towards the end of the day on March 23rd. Right now, it is March 27th. The market was closed yesterday on Monday. As you can see, it can be really lucrative to pick your timing, and sometimes you just have to do a quick moment's decision. The only reason why I was selling on a red day covered call was because I saw a massive dip in the price, and I figured if next week, this week right here, the price is going to be approximately even and is just going to even out, that because I know the products of MSTR and MSTR derivatives, that I would be able to buy back these shares if I wanted to, or buy back the contracts if I wanted to. In this specific case, I'm explaining to you that I am not going to do this. However, I was kind of banking that I would be able to show you guys a really cool video of how I would do this and a little bit of bonus footage. For the MSTU play, I actually have a straddle. I made a video. If you guys missed the video, I sold a $4 strike cash secured put, which is expiring June 13th. Click on the video up above if you missed it. And I ended up selling 800 of these contracts. If you click on this, a lot of people were saying, well, Adam, why would you get into this contract? There's not a lot of open interest and there's not a lot of volume. Well, at the time, there was one open interest. Right now, the open interest actually popped up to 1,435. At the time of making the video, the open interest was one. Of these 1,435 contracts, 800 of them are mine. The open interest will go up the closer you get to expiration date. I have been selling on MicroStrategy, MSTU, MSTX for quite a while, so I'm very familiar with this stock. At a $4 strike, I don't think that I'm going to be called. And again, I'm not trying to close this out early, but a lot of people are saying, well, Adam, you're not going to have the liquidity that you need. And to this, I'm going to say, just click on the video up above. I already made a video of me rolling MSTU options to the tune of $250,000 of collateral. And I had no problem rolling a $7 strike, a $3 strike, and a $2.50 strike. Again, just click on that video up above. I hope this video demonstrates that as an option seller, you have a lot of options for your options. You can let them expire worthless. You can roll them. If assigned, you can wheel them. And you have massive opportunities to close out your positions early. Think about it. I collected like $1,800, $3,100, and $700. We're talking about almost $6,000 in premium, which I can pay back today at roughly $3,500, keeping $2,500 in my pocket for literally an overnight play. Guys, if you have any questions, please ask me down below. I read pretty much all of your comments and I answer all of your comments. The website is coming up next week. I heard you. You guys are asking for webinars and courses and coaching and downloads and Excel sheets and ebooks, so on and so forth. It's all coming next month. To my channel members, I really do appreciate you. And anybody who's a channel member on YouTube, I will be making a Discord and you will have access to the Discord as channel members of YouTube. Thank you very much. And if you missed it, click on this link up above. This is my options playlist where I have tons of different variations and options that I talk about. You guys will not miss anything. See you guys in the next one.